there are a group of folks, a woman by the name of Helen Redout in Yakima, Washington, dairy farmer. And she found that her dairy, that her neighbors were encroaching on her rights. She'd been there for generations. She loved it. She actually married into people who'd been there for generations. But she loved this place. And she had a dairy farm. But the big dairy farmers around her were just doing this confined animal operation. And they were ruining the wells, ruining the rivers, ruining the air quality. She couldn't leave her windows open at night, et cetera, et cetera. She tried to get her friends to do something. They ostracized her, you can imagine. She tried to have a meeting with everybody. They had a meeting. She almost got run off the road several times and killed. For 27 years she's fought this, ladies and gentlemen, all by herself. Finally found a pro bono group in Portland, Oregon, who came to her help, a lawyer by the name of Charlie Tebbutt, terrific guy. He carried the case. They prosecuted under the Clean Water Act, and by God, she ultimately won. And she made those people clean up and start to act responsibly under the Clean Water Act. Another example down in New Mexico and Colorado, the HD Mountains, Janine Fitzgerald and Tweety Blanchette. Tweety is a wonderful woman. She was a Bush-Cheney organizer in the year 2000. I mean, she's a conservative, Republican, Western farm hand who loves the land and is furious about what Washington and the government are doing with respect to her rights. Why? Because in the West, there's a split between the mineral rights and the land rights. And the mineral folks have a right to come in on your land and go for whatever's there. And the folks who own the ranch have to let them do it. Now, they're supposed to get proper compensation. They're supposed to be protected. But it doesn't happen. Nobody stands up for them. So their cattle are dying. Kids have actually been killed in some of these coal bed methane pumps that have crushed them. The land gets destroyed. You got old cars lying in rivers with oil spewing out into the river. It's disgrace. And they have fought back against it unbelievably as just, Midwestern, basic American values about how you hold on to your land and what is precious to you. Now, the big enchilada, which we do talk about in this book, is obviously global climate change. And I'm proud that Al Gore and I, there's a nice blurb on the back of the book by Al Gore about our relationship. We held the first hearings on global climate change in the Commerce Committee in 1987. And in 1992, as I said, we all went to Rio together. We were also all in Kyoto together. So we've been at this for a long time. Stunningly, we have a flat earth caucus in the United States Senate. There are some troglodytes there who just don't believe science, don't listen, think this is a crazy conspiracy, and they're still pushing back. We're going to have a very important debate in the United States Senate in June, on June 2nd, on the subject of cap and trade and how we reduce emissions in America. But what Teresa and I show in this book is this is more than urgent. This is bigger than urgent, folks. I don't know how to put it into, the minute you start to grab for the words, you sort of begin to lose people. But the scientists, just to kind of give it meaning to you, I meet regularly. I'm chairman of one of the committees that is responsible for this, and I meet regularly with the top scientists in the country. 2 years ago, they were telling us